when tech was teching, if you go to a boot camp for like, a couple of months, you come out, you land a nice 60K job. There was a lot of money. They were over hiring. Now, the gravy train has stopped, right? The tap has closed. The money is not there anymore. And so a lot of companies are now cutting. And now what's happening is that if you didn't really have a solid foundation in tech, you are now competing with all the people that Amazon has fired.
Tech bro, successful, AI, PhD, this, fine boy, no pimple. I mean, this has to be the most eligible bachelor in the whole of the UK. And as the president of Single Men's Association, what are you people discussing, right? What is holding you guys back? What did you discuss at your last meeting? What is the number one reason for delay?
What's the number one pressing issue for the single men? Every time what we're saying behind your back, we're wondering, how did this guy bag this babe? Like, the guy must get money. He must have money. It's easier, in a manner of speaking, to meet somebody who is solid when you're younger. A little bit of red flag is required for a relationship to work, right? So,
boom. Welcome to First Take. Today I have an incredible guest for you guys, man. Today is Dr. Abbas, arguably the biggest tech bro in the whole UK, at least Midlands. Yeah. I don't want to hype you too much. How you doing, bro? Man, yeah.
I'm doing great, bro. I'm doing great. How are you? Glad to be here.
Yeah. Finally, we made it happen, man. Left the group chat. According to
finally took off. Yeah.
The kids, guy, I'm really excited because actually I have a confession to make. I think I met you maybe 2-3 years ago when we went to that bowling alley in Wolverhampton, or I think one of the parties. And to be honest, in Birmingham. And I said, this guy is so loud, life of a party, church, like. And me, I'm an introverted extrovert. I mean, it depends on who you ask. I can be reserved. Sometimes I can be outgoing. I was like, no, the energy is too much for me, man. But then, I got to know you, talk politics, talk, AI, it helped me on, creating a website, drum roll or keeping that under wraps. And I've just said to me, oh my gosh, this guy is such a well-rounded individual, there's so much balance. There's so many layers to you. So today I want us to peel.
Like an onion.
Yes, peel more layers, and I just think from as far as the eye can see, I think you have a very well-rounded lifestyle. So nice one, bro. Nice one. How you feeling?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Feeling good. I think you saying that I consider myself an introvert as well.
No way, Lori wrong.
So
no
way.
You
come in and say that this guy, I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah,
you're a fatty guy. Which is cool. So, oh my gosh. In the office, or some other people, or even Mrs. will tell me that I think I'm an introvert. It's a mix, right? It's not as if you're 100% one or the other, right? So
exactly.
I think
it's a spectrum usually.
Yeah. So I think I tilt towards introvertedness in the sense that I can go out, but I need to recharge my batteries. I need to come home and decompress and all that kind of stuff. So when I hear people in the office, or someone will say, you're an extroverted guy, I always fight it. So now that I'm telling somebody that is the life of a pattern, it's like, I now know how it feels, bro.
It's always the same thing. Yeah, I'm like, I'm an introvert. Like, I didn't know what you're talking about. But I think, as you said, it's usually the battery thing, right?
Yeah.
You have some energy, but then you just need to crawl back under the rock and just take like 2 weeks and not talk to anybody. So,
or 2 months.
Or 2 months. Exactly.
It's funny how, just last one on this before we really get into it. You know how I keep going on and on about, let's do house parties or game nights or whatever. And I think the frequency was a month. I think about once in 6 months is fine for me. Just or once a quarter, it's the right balance.
Once a quarter. Exactly.
If you do it too much, it turns to house fellowship or something. Anyway, I want to start with a quick game. I always do this. It's this or that, right? So I'm going to ask you 2 things. Just pick one. So Android or iPhone? As a tech bro, which one is it?
Android.
No way. I thought
Yes,
I thought
Android.
tech is.
It's interesting
so?
because so I love tech, right? I think I've never, apart from maybe using an iPhone for longer than usual, I've always jumped between like, either. But Android just gives you so much more, right? Like if you look beyond, like, I think it depends on the kind of lifestyle. With an iPhone, it gives you like, you don't need to do too much.
Yeah.
It works. You pick up your phone, it works every time. These days, Android 2 is as stable as that. But back in the day, Android was for tinkerers. Like, you want to install this weird ROM. You want to, like, whenever you wanted to go beyond what the people who made the phone want you to do, you go Android. But Apple, you're in their garden. You play the way they want you to play. You use the phone the way they want you to. And I'm an anarchist, man. I don't want anyone telling me what to do.
I know that. You're a builder and you're a developer, so
exactly.
You need to be able to, pull off everything and, go under the hood. So, all right, that makes sense. I guess for me, from a consumer point of view, I just think iPhone's user interface is just sleek. I mean, I used to do Android back in the day, maybe 10 years ago or something. And I used to say my justification was, back then, iPhone was so restrictive. If you wanted music, you have to go through iTunes. You have to buy it.
It still is now. Well, Spotify has made it a bit easier.
Apps, all the streaming has made things easier. You couldn't watch a movie on an iPhone now. You have to go through iTunes and then unlike Android where people were using Bluetooth or Zeta or whatever they were using to send to each other. So it was very restrictive. So for me, once they got over that hurdle, I just feel with an iPhone, there's Netflix, there's Spotify, there's Apple Music. Like we stream everything now. So that restriction of how to get music, I remember that time you have to download the MP3 on Android. But it's. I think just as a regular user, I'm not a builder like you.
Because you're rich now. That's just what
I beg no loud. I made my helpers not hear that thing, including you. See my Ida. Anyway, no wahala. Work from home or hybrid working or office? Which one is better? Which one will you pick?
It's interesting because I've been working from home since since the pandemic, basically.
Okay.
And now I want to actually go to the office. Absolutely. So I would say hybrid.
Yes. I think hybrid is a sweet spot for me. So at the beginning, like you, COVID, 100% work from home. You're making your akara, you're having meeting. No questions from me, that kind of stuff. But again, I think it goes back to the introverted extrovert thing. I think it gets boring, like I think we need that interaction as human beings. And
as human beings, exactly.
I think once a week, or a couple of times, in the morning, I think it's the right balance just to, that
for me, I think the perfect setup for me is I get to go to the office, but I get to choose when I arrive. Because I'm not a morning person. Right? The only thing that work from home has done for me is the fact that usually I don't have to be up really early.
The commute
back in the day, you wake up at 6 a.m., get ready for work. You need to be at the office before 8:30. Like, I don't know how I did that, and I don't know if I can do that again. So the only thing that still makes me look at like remote jobs is just that flexibility of I'll work, the full time I need to. I just don't like starting early. Yeah, so if I had an office that I could pop in at like 12.
Oh, even 12. Okay.
Pop in at 12. Nobody will judge me too much.
Yeah.
Because even some offices, because like I had when I worked hybrid, like they will be like, yeah, we're flexible, we're easy. But if I'm popping in at 11, like they are judging me. So I'm just like, you guys are actually not flexible, man. Like,
yeah. So there's flexi time. So I remember I used to work in an organization where there's core hours. So you cannot do your 12. I think 12 is beyond the core. I think core hours are about maybe 10 to I think about 3 or 4.
10
so everybody needs to cover the core, but you can come in maybe 6 and you leave at 3. That kind of thing. That was the way they could flex.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that you could just do what you have to do. Or I know you're not a morning person, but some people just wake up in the morning, then they have the rest of the evening to themselves. Okay. Nice one. Last one, I would say on the business side, I would say, would you buy property or would you invest in the stock market? Like either or. I know it's nice.
Yeah. So if it's either or, at the moment I'm only like stock. Right. Everybody around me is property, but
why?
I don't know, man. Like the peer pressure and societal pressure makes me feel like I should invest in property.
Okay.
But the easygoing person that I am actually prefers stock.
You don't
So
like the stress of
I just
chasing.
don't like the stress. So like, look at UK now. They're saying landlords are doing one thing, one thing. I'm like, come and start telling me to go and start trying to tell somebody to leave one. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like property is, I would either or stock for me.
All right, fair enough. So for stocks, you're just doing index, or
Yeah, just long
you're
term
trading.
index
Okay,
funds.
okay. You're not
Put the
trading
money
every
there
day,
and
and
just forget. Nah, 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 nah,
all
nah.
right.
I don't like to gamble personally.
Uh,
So day trading,
you're
you
not a
already know.
speculator. Okay.
No, no, no,
All right. What do you think about prediction markets? Like,
no.
there's so many of them out there now, poly market
Yeah,
and
so
co.
it's one of those things where a lot of the things I know about prediction markets as is a little bit against my will, to be honest, because I've never really been a gambler, right?
Okay.
So it's like
It's pure
things like
gambling to you. There's
I
no
think it's pure gambling. Of course,
okay
they are trying to position it as research,
investing.
right? As what people are willing to gamble on, or what people are willing to bet on, is dictating or giving us an insight into where the world is going. And fair enough, people, you can argue for that, but yeah, I feel like there are a lot of ethical questions. You're betting on whether this place is going to get bombed, or you're betting on whether this person is going to die, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they have their place for like research, if for the kind of things for the kind of research that people use it for. But yeah, it's not
Mm-hmm.
really my thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy now. There's one where you can bet on like traffic. So they have a live feed for a junction, and they'll say, okay, how many cars in the next 5 minutes goes? It's insane. So I'm with you.
It's
It's
insane. Back in the day
yeah.
when
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know if sports betting has been a thing for a very long time. I feel like I'm showing my age, or we're old, but when we're younger, sports betting wasn't really a thing as much. Like shortly
Yeah.
after secondary school, I felt like it started getting more and more popular. But I remember then they'll be like, you can bet whether this person is going to get a yellow card in the first 20 minutes.
Yes.
I'm like, why the hell would you bet on that? I'm sure the
Yeah.
odds are like amazing, and it's like a high risk, high reward thing. But like, I assume prediction markets have essentially arisen from that level of
Yeah.
granularity that people are willing to, like, oh, you bet that this guy is going to touch his
Yeah.
shirts
Yeah.
in the first 13 seconds. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yellow card, red
it's
card, who's gonna kick off? I think those are called spot markets. Yeah. Like,
sports
one
market, yeah.
yeah, one tiny thing. Yeah, you're right, absolutely. It's speaking of age and showing your age on this no, I mean I'm not going to embarrass you, but this time we're talking, jackpot and career and jobs and relations. So just quick whistle stop tour of your story. I know you moved to England when you were 17. So when did you get your
Yeah,
PhD? Just tell me the whole journey, because doctor not be beans, man.
to be honest, I came for uni, right? So I think,
Okay.
yeah, I came just after secondary school.
Okay.
Went to Sussex Uni, studied
Oh,
engineering.
Sussex. Okay.
Yeah, studied engineering,
Tell me
finished
about
that.
tell me about the not going to Sussex, have you? Am I correct?
No, I hope not. I
I may be wrong. I may be wrong.
I hope not.
I'll check it after. Mm.
No,
I
please.
take I take it
Anyways,
you're not a
yeah,
fan. Anyway, no
I'm
problem.
not. I am not a fan at all. I went to Sussex. Finished. Didn't really want to work yet, so found a program for a doctorate, went to work for that, and yeah, finished that, and I've just been I did a bit of research for the first few years after that, and then I transitioned into software engineering. So I didn't study computer science, I studied
Oh,
engineering. I did
which
applied physics from, pardon?
which one? So I wanted to know what your PhD was
Um,
in.
Yeah, so I
Interesting.
did my undergrad in
Okay.
electronics engineering, and then my PhD was in, I usually just say applied physics as a general thing, but it was interesting because when you were talking about eddy currents, my PhD was actually in eddy currents. So it was just, it was just funny to me. I didn't want to mention it, but it's like, yeah. Well, yeah, my PhD was in something called eddy current testing. So using eddy currents to kind of like test metals and stuff like that. And then finished that, did some research for a company that builds equipment using that technology. for a bit, but then they were not paying. So, and tech was taking off. And I was like, let me come and share in this little.
Yes, no.
Yeah, so
Gold Rush.
I pivoted. Yeah, Gold Rush. Now the gold is not golden anymore. That's by the way. Oh yeah, so pivoted, yeah, and I've been a software engineer ever since.
Wow. So I mean, first of all, telepathy. Before we started recording, I talked about eddy current. So there's some cosmic connection or something going on, and then there's a lot to unpack in your answer in terms of engineering, and then moving to tech. I did chemical engineering as an undergraduate, and did I really, dabble into tech? Maybe now with all the vibe coding I'm doing and all the, podcasts and all that kind of stuff. But I pivoted to supply chain and logistics and engineering and freight and that kind of stuff, and I really loved it. By the way, I found myself in it, and I've been super committed to it, over a decade now. And I like to think I'm a professional. I am actually certified supply chain professional. Anyway, away from that. So you said tech is not really teching now. I believe that's probably due to AI and the way the industry is going. Do you want to touch on that? AI is everywhere.
Yeah.
What's the real
AI
score?
is everywhere. I don't, in my own personal experience, I wouldn't ascribe it all to AI.
Okay.
I think it's just that we've left the free money era.
Okay.
Right? So I don't know if you've heard of
harder to get now.
Yeah, so the zero interest rate phenomenon of 2020 or even long before that, where everyone who had an idea, who could make a nice pitch deck, could get millions and millions and millions of dollars of funding. All the companies were just growth at all costs. There was money to get. So everybody was just hiring. And when tech was teching, if you go to a boot camp for a couple of months, you come out, you land a nice 60K job, and you're chilling, you're good.
You're landed.
But but I think what was happening was that there was a lot of money. They were over hiring, and it was really, really easy to get in. Now the gravy train has stopped, right? The tap has closed. The money is not there anymore. And so a lot of companies are now cutting. And now what's happening is that if you didn't really have a solid foundation in tech, you're now competing with all the people that Amazon has fired and Google has fired. And
so it's a saturated market.
It's a saturated market, and it's saturated with the top guys. So hence why I'm saying tech is not taking, it's not quite as... It's no longer the employee market that it was back in the day. The power has gone back to the employers now.
I totally understand what you mean. And I know it's not fully ascribed to AI, but I think it's compounded by the fact that it's AI and coding and Claude and all that kind of stuff.
So I think so the compounding effects, in my own perspective, is the idea is that what you needed 5 people to do before, now 2 people or 1 person, quote unquote, with multiple agents.
Yeah, Amazon did that, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. A lot of people who are doing that, right? Time hasn't passed. Time hasn't gone past long enough for us to see what the effects
to judge
of that. Yeah,
I hear you.
To judge whether you saying, "Oh yeah, let me cut off 5 people and have 1 person, do 5 people's work." For instance, now there's this running gag online where GitHub, as an example, their uptime is terrible. Claude's uptime is terrible. And these are the biggest proponent of, use 500 agents to code and human beings are not needed anymore, right? And their platforms are they are degraded, So it's
Amazon had an issue as well.
Exactly, So everyone, look at Microsoft. Microsoft Windows, for instance, at the moment, it's they literally had to put out a press release maybe last week or something saying we are going to make Windows better. I was yeah, but why are you telling us? You should just do it. So I feel we still need time. Of course, I'm very much I'm very much not saying people should still come into tech, but learn it properly, because very soon all the people that have made a mess of platforms are going to need people who actually know what to do to fix their mess.
The real engineers.
So yeah, AI is amazing, right? It's not a fluke. It's not a gimmick. It is it is like a revolutionary thing. But I also feel like the way people are looking at it is not quite how they should be looking at it. My perspective.
And it's a very interesting take because your view is pitching you up against the Sam Altmans of this world, the Elon Musks of this world, Microsoft, all the big guys, this AI arm race with all the data centers they are trying to, erect all over the US and all the money and the water is going to use and the energy.
If you look at someone like Sam,
what's your view on that? Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at someone like Sam Altman as an example, right? Sam Altman has a lot to gain. The guy is selling his market, right? So, Sam Altman, the guy from Anthropic, I don't know his name. Those guys, Satire, like Microsoft, when they come and they're like, oh, AI this, AI that, I don't listen to them because they are trying to sell market.
Yeah, Nvidia boss as well.
What do you say?
Nvidia as well.
I was just about to go. The Nvidia guy, there was a video going around where he was like, as a software engineer, you're not spending 250,000.
There are two viral videos. I saw that one where he was saying if he gives you the token and you don't use it in a year, he's going to go mad and he's going to go mad. Blah, blah. There's another one where he said, if you're a farmer, I need to check what AI is doing. If you're a teacher, I need to check what, if any line of work, you need to check, if AI is going to make you better. And I guess he's making a point to some regard, but like you're saying, it's self-serving.
Nvidia is the most valuable company in the entire world.
Absolutely.
How do you think they got there?
I mean, the chips are valuable. Let's not forget that,
So their chips are valuable. So and he can't, like, I feel like the stock holders will kick him out if he's not selling the market, right?
Propping it up, yeah.
Yeah, he has to prop it up. He has to make us feel like as if we need.
Let me take it one step further. What do you think about this secular funding between them? So Nvidia invests in OpenAI invests in the other one, and then I saw a recent article that he was trying to pull back from the 100 billion investment, and
investment in OpenAI. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like there's trouble in paradise. I might say. What do you think about that?
I think there is, especially with OpenAI, right? Because now they're putting ads in ChatGPT.
I don't see it on my phone. No, I don't see that. Okay.
I don't use ChatGPT. I pay for it. I actually need to cancel that contract. that subscription. I pay for it, but I don't use it as much. So I haven't really seen their ads. But when how
many do you pay for, by the way? You pay for ChatGPT?
So I have ChatGPT. So I pay for just ChatGPT. Okay, I pay for ChatGPT. I pay for Claude. I pay for GitHub Copilot. I pay for Cursor.
That's 4.
Yeah. That's a
lot of subscriptions on there. So why do you have to pay for all of them? Is this for the apps you're building?
So okay. Cursor is for programming, right? So that helps me with coding essentially.
Okay.
Right? GitHub Copilot, because every once in a while I just want to. So I started paying for it recently because I wanted to evaluate it against Cursor. So I'm going to cancel it because it's not quite up to the standard. Claude is my main AI assistant that I try to bounce ideas off of or whatever.
Yeah,
and it was quite on before. Yeah, and ChatGPT was my previous Copilot in a manner of speaking. But then I tried Claude and I was just like, yeah, ChatGPT, nah, man. So I need to cancel both ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot soon.
All right, fair enough. We can be on this AI topic.
On the AI thing, man. There's so much, man. There's so much going on. It's so interesting.
And you're I was saying in the intro, you're probably one of the few people I feel that can match my energy when it comes to news and politics. And like typically when I'm talking to other people, I'm informing them. But with you, it's an exchange, and you're like, oh, this one. So it's always fun when we talk. So let me know if we leave it like this, we'll talk for hours, right? Just to close, I'm sure the viewers are wondering, man, this guy is, tech bro, successful, AI, PhD, this, fine boy, no pimple. This has to be the most eligible bachelor in the whole of the UK. And I know as the president of Single Men's Association, I joked a few episodes ago, I had some of my friends on and we talked about, young people are not getting married. The women I kind of understand because they're not going to propose to themselves and, they have to wait for men to make the first move. But like I said, as the president of Single Men's Association, what are you people discussing, right? What is holding you guys back? What did you discuss at your last meeting? What is the number one reason for delay
What's
in settling down?
what's the number one pressing issue for the single men?
Yes, what did people discuss? Just give me the essence, the main gist from your last convention. What is it? Money? Is it?
So
Are
I
the
don't know,
women
man.
at their eye tearing? It's not personal. I'm just telling what your members said. Just communicate what your members said to me. That's all.
From my perspective, right? I think
Not your perspective. Your
not
members'
from my
perspective.
Okay, from the members, but what I'm hearing in the grapevine.
Yes.
I don't know, man.
What are reporting to you as the chairman?
Let me tell you. And we shared a meme recently where I responded to you and you thought I was joking. This is my own take. And this is my take and what I think the people who should be talking are not saying.
Okay.
If you did not marry young, you don't mess up. That's all the men that have waited. I was okay, I wanted to jump into Yoruba, but then I realized that let's stay. Once you guys are getting to a certain age,
you can translate for me afterwards, but it's fine.
As men, once you guys are getting to a certain age and you are never married, there's no hope for you anymore. I think that's what's happening.
It's all over. Really?
Nah. Yes.
What's your cutoff for earlier, or when, like, if you don't make that?
I don't know. As a man, 26.
26.
If after 26,
I didn't get married. What are you saying?
No hope. But you are just lucky now. So let me tell you what we are saying behind your. Let me tell you what we are saying behind your back. We are wondering how did this guy bag this babe? Like the guy must get money. He must have money. He must have money.
Not God.
Because I think like this babe. Look at Lily and my wife. See guy, this babe now.
Mismatch.
The guy gets now.
Nah, grace of God. I agree. My wife, like, out of my league times 100. Now just
times 100. We know. Don't worry.
If I've not done anything right in my life, at least I know I marry right. But okay, that's interesting. I mean, I think 26 is extremely young, but anyway.
I'm joking. Yeah. I think 26 is definitely extreme. Definitely not. But I think it's more oftentimes. I think it's easier in the manner of speaking to meet somebody who is solid when you're younger. I think what it is, and I think it goes for both men and women. The older we get, the more guarded in the manner of speaking that we become, and the more we think we know exactly what we want, and the less likely we are to settle for what we think isn't quite what we're looking for. I think when you're younger, the rose-tinted goggles are, they are more tinted, right? You are not seeing the red flags as much. And in a way, I think it's good to not, if your eye is staring too much for red flags, right, it's not particularly good. Like, everybody has red flags, and a little bit of red flag is required for a relationship to work, right? So, but I think as we get older, we kind of start being more sensitive and less tolerating of the red flags, and then it just means that people aren't staying together as much as they can. So, yeah, I think it's probably just eventually everybody will find somebody that is good for them, and it'll be okay.
Really, do you think that though? Because the track. I mean, this is a topic. I don't know why it's important to me, but I just feel from what I see, because I feel there's a generational shift, right? 30 years ago or beyond, people, especially once men had jobs, they got married, built a family, society continued. Now, what I'm seeing, and based on what you're saying as well, I think you're confirming my hypothesis, is that people, once you cross a certain level, people are being too selective, too picky. I mean, maybe not too is the right word, but they'll just be like, you know what, I don't like this thing, and I know it's a red flag for me. No compromise, right? It's not for me, it's not for me. I don't like what I hate, right? Which is all well and good, because mental health is key, and nobody wants you to jump into something you jump out of. I'm just looking at it from zoom out, society wise. Where does that leave? If everybody, one of my mentors used to say, everybody wants to be an independent contractor now. Everybody wants to be there's no long-term partnership now. There's no contract. Everybody just I come to this, sign my contract. If end of the month, if you don't want me, I'm out. Or so it's all short-termism. There's no commitment. There's no covenant. My point is, where does that leave us in the next? So we're in our 30s, right? At least I am in. What happens in 40s, 50s? Are we just this solo part? Is that what's going to happen? or is there, like you're saying, would there now be a
Yeah, but see,
reunification
okay, but this is the
later
thing,
on?
right? So
Mhm.
there might be a young people are not, quote unquote, young people are not wanting to get married problem, but there isn't really a young people are not willing to be together or have families problem. Do you get?
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think we need to just kind of like separate the two issues, right? There's
Okay.
the issue of, as we all agree that yes, a lot of people are, especially like, millennials or whatever out there, turning up their nose in the manner of speaking towards marriage, saying that, okay, you know what, yeah, I want this, I
Stress too
want that, blah,
much.
blah, blah.
Freedom.
Yeah,
Mhm.
freedom. I don't want to get married, whatever. But it doesn't mean they are not dating. It doesn't mean they are not having unplanned pregnancies. So
Not
if
the
we
same
think
thing.
about,
Like
but
I'm arguing for companionship now. So I
yeah,
hear
but that's
you.
the
I'm
thing.
just saying it's not the same thing. Like it
It's
doesn't
not quite the same thing,
replace.
but
It doesn't
the
replace
point
what we
I'm
had before.
100%. But the point I'm trying to make is that companionship does not require marriage, right? Like we kind of need to, like, if we look at it traditionally, we would always think it does, but you can have companionship and not be married,
So
especially with the way society
you're
is
talking about
now.
cohabiting, and you're talking
People
about
are cohabiting, people are coming together, making families.
yeah.
I'm not saying that that's what I'm a proponent for. I still think it's better
Yeah.
to raise children in a loving nuclear family.
I'm even saying I'm not seeing enough of that, in the sense that people are breaking up, if that makes sense. So I'm not. Of course, people are dating and spreading their oats and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, where is the commitment? Whether you put a ring on it, whether it's a traditional marriage, whether it's a partnership, I think it's partners that it's called in the West, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have so many colleagues who 10, 20 years they are not married, but they are partners, right? Partner. My point is, that is a deep, long-term bond, or partnership. The trend I am seeing, and from what your members have told you, is that I don't see people even doing that. Like the trend I'm seeing is, maybe you did for a couple of years and it didn't work, it didn't work. So you're just having cycles of 3,
Yeah,
4,
but
5 years. You have like
if I
5
flip
or
it,
6 sets. Go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
I say if I flip it like the other way as well, these days marriage doesn't even guarantee like longevity anymore.
That's another point. So granted, so couples are breaking up, this, and I think I touched on it where we said maybe it's social media, maybe it's the same things we're even discussing. Maybe it's the same feelings or anxiety, or things that we're not dealt with, that we're saying singles are not doing that. When people cross over, and then they say, oh,
Say the
there's no
same thing exactly.
this.
Yeah.
So maybe we're still speaking the same thing, but just from different points of view, like in terms of the line of marriage being crossed and all. So I mean, ultimately, my view is, I think it's going to be solo living. I don't know what that's going to look like. Is everybody going to end up in an old person's home? Is everybody going to because if everybody is solo, I don't know how old age will look like. But that's I know people are so wise now. I heard Gen Z is even worse than the millennials, like you said. Everybody eyed a tear and all that. But
Everybody IDTM, man.
are we having unrealistic expectations? That's I guess that's an open-ended question. It's one to we'll wait and see. But just the last one. What's up next for you? What are you building app-wise? 5 years. Are you going to settle down? What is just give us one last word.
So settling down, it'll happen when it happens. I think
Okay.
that's my own perspective. I'm currently building a document management app called NoMeld. It's a platform that connects your documents, your notes to your AI platform. So you use ChatGPT, you use Claude, you have your document on NoMeld, and it's available on demand whenever you want. So I'm working on that, and then I do a lot of tinkering, as you see on my Instagram. I'm currently building like a 10-inch server rack in my house. That's because I host all my stuff with like a screen and stuff. Like it's an entire project. Yeah, and I'm just also planning for summer. This year has to be lit low key.
Is the summer body loading?
My brother, summer body is trying. It's trying to load.
Ramadan should have helped now with the fast.
Yeah, it did. Now, but then Ramadan made you skinny now. So my body requires a
You need
little
to
bit of
bulk
muscle.
up back. Bulking is not a problem
So-
now. I will send you protein shake. Don't worry. Or just eat pizza. You'll be fine. You will have the required layers.
Yes, that's what's next for me.
Oh, nice one. Thank you so much, Abbas, man. What am I saying? PhD. Doctor. It's not easy.
Thank you for having me, bro.
If easy, run on. This has been so much fun. I know, we'll obviously continue conversation beyond the episode. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Would like to share with a friend or anyone if you think this if you're related with this. All right, then see you on the next one. Bye.